And when you look at how e-commerce is generated in today's world, you've seen the evolution of, wow, I have to have a website. Wow, I have a website. How do I drive demand to it? Wow, I got demand, but nobody's converting, right? So you had all that for years. Now it's like, you don't even need a website, right? You just need a product and advertising on Instagram or some social media. Everybody has 3 clicks on their thumb and they're ordering stuff.
This is Outside the Box with Asendia USA, a podcast educating U.S.-based brands, marketplaces, and e-tailers on international shipping topics and how they can expand their global e-commerce footprint.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Outside the Box with Asendia USA podcast. We are here for day 2, the final day at the PARCEL Forum in Schaumburg, Illinois, with my co-host.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back.
Jason Rowland. And we've got a special guest today. We have got Gerry McGowan, the Executive Director of the U.S. Network for Asendia. Hey, Gerry, thanks for joining.
No problem. Thanks for the invite.
You're on time with us today.
Absolutely. So, okay, we're at the PARCEL Forum, and there's been some chatter about our, what are we doing when it comes to what options do we have domestically as maybe a value add or just a part of growing our network.
Yep.
So can you maybe explain maybe your role, what you've been doing? Give us a 5-minute or
Sure.
overview of what you got going on.
Yes, absolutely. So the legacy solution that the rest of the world of Asendia would sell into for the U.S. was a mail consolidation solution, aka Mail Innovations, or even any one of those. But what that doesn't differentiate you from the crowd, right? It doesn't give other options to do it.
Yeah.
And there's so many carriers, there's so much to do with speed and cost savings you can have in the U.S. So basically, the project and what I'm putting together is like a diversified carrier network,
Nice.
so that we can lower cost and we can get stuff there quicker. Starting off with, we launched a ground service this year that's up and running, and we'll add carriers to that as the months go on. And then next, probably won't get in for peak, but by next year, we'll launch like an express service.
Okay.
So now if they're in Singapore, if they're UK, we can have a diversified carrier network for ground. And then we can also have an express for people who want like a 2-day, let's say 70% of the market or something like that.
And just to clarify for viewers, listeners, when you said you mentioned Singapore and UK, but we're referring to that would be inbound to the United States.
Yeah. So our Asendia sales team will have a new product to sell for U.S. destination packages for customers who want to go into the U.S.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to. So instead of it being a mail consolidation, cheap and cheerful, slow to get there, we'll have we'll have a better solution for them.
I like that.
And to point, we've been in. I get weekly updates from the origins, and just as an end, as of last week, the UK is reporting that their costs are down significantly with the new solution, and also their service. If you come in on a Monday to the airport, it clears the broker. Let's say it would get to the carrier Monday night, because of the mail consolidation and resorting, the first delivery attempt might not be till Wednesday, right?
Right.
Well, now we're getting in the same process. We're getting to the carriers Monday night, but they're delivering it the next day on Tuesday.
Wow.
So the UK's reported like a 30% shift in volume that used to go 3, 4, 5 days delivery, now getting 1, 2, 3. So
that's huge.
We're already seeing the benefit of that. And that's just the early stages. There's still multiple other regionals and other carriers I want to add that'll just continue to add to that speed. So
Is the product meant to be exclusively for extraterritorial companies sending things into the U.S., or would domestic customers have ability to access the network also for their stuff?
Yeah, great question. So when I came on board last year and met the U.S.-based sales team, that was one of the things when I was explaining to them, hey, this is what I'm working on. The one thing we said is there's no reason why you go and tap into that, So we are working with Broadreach right now. There's a client that's coming down from Canada.
Okay.
And they're going to start injecting into it.
That's awesome.
And then also there's various sales guys I've been in contact with from the U.S. sales team that I've been going back and forth with questions on potential solutions they could tap into.
So we had some good discussions yesterday with International Bridge. Is it contiguous 48 or is it not?
So basically right now, since all the packages, once they clear the broker, they just turn into a domestic shipment, right? So it's the lower 48 in addition to the outlying areas. So we have the postal solutions, get the Guam and all those Puerto Rico and all those things. So we do have those covered. We have options for them.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. So, okay, so for viewers and listeners, one of the things I want to clarify is because Asendia is a global organization, we have subsidiaries or offices throughout the world. Like Gerry had mentioned, Asendia UK, Asendia Singapore. We've got, there's France, there's Italy, and so I think and you can tell me if I'm wrong too, but right now those subsidiaries can take advantage of this network by transitioning what they were doing previously over to this new product to then cut down on the transit times, and that's from the inbound from other areas outside the United States into the U.S. market. So delivery to the door into the U.S. And then Gerry's also saying that, whether it's now or maybe sometime in 2026, rolling out the ability for our current clients that are going U.S. outbound, that are U.S. based shippers, going to be able to look at it as a value add to say, hey, maybe we could utilize Asendia for our domestic parcels too.
Absolutely.
Is there a sweet spot in this domestic network that you're creating in terms of weight, distribution? What would, for somebody that's listening or watching, what would be a good fit really?
Well, when you start adding like regional, the DSP carriers or gig carriers and things like that, for the most part, they don't want the 25-pound packages,
Big time.
They really don't have the big cargo vans for that. So the sweet spot is your typical e-commerce, packages. Okay. And when you look at how e-commerce is generated in today's world, you've seen the evolution of, wow, I have to have a website. Wow, I have a website. How do I drive demand to it? Wow, I got demand, but nobody's converting, right? So you had all that for years. Now it's like, you don't even need a website, right? You just need a product and advertising on Instagram or some social media. Everybody has 3 clicks on their thumb and they're ordering stuff. So because of that, you also don't get multi-line orders. So a lot of the orders I've seen over the years, there's more lightweight now than I've ever seen in the past,
Single SKU, that type of thing. Yeah.
But that e-commerce, direct to consumer, that's where we have low cost solutions. We have under pound pricing.
Okay.
Even though a lot of that went away, we've kept it. We've been able to negotiate that into contracts so we can still provide ounce-based pricing for our customers. And that's big for a lot of these e-commerce driven clients.
Yeah. So as you start developing that network, and so walk me through a little bit about how what stands out to you for the vendors that you choose.
Yep.
What do they do well? What sets them apart? How do you make those decisions as you build out that?
Without a doubt. I'm old school. So, I believe in operations. You manage by walking around, and I need to do that for any vendor, right? So I have to visit their operations. I want to see their operations. I want to understand their call center, how their customers, I want to know what they spend in technology. What's their technology doing? What are they doing in the future? So it's not just about the price on a rate card. It's really about the company. And because I'm partnering, like at the end of the day, the final mile delivery is the face of the customer in many aspects, right? So you want to make sure that's a good experience in that. So you want to make sure that carrier is prioritizing that as much as we prioritize it. So we got to make sure we're aligned on the customer first type attitude with everything they do, just not cost or cheap or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you'll see that out there with different vendors on how they're growing. Some of the other side benefits, it wasn't the reason to pick it, but like when you go to 100% postal solution, the undeliverables and returns is a nightmare, right? If the postal can't deliver it, there's only one attempt. They don't go 3 attempts. They slap a label. It comes back to your warehouse at probably like $13 of paid postage just to get it there. That's nobody sees that. That's true cost. It has to go back before you even process the return. So what we've seen already is that now we're getting 3 delivery attempts, right? If it comes back to a sortation center, our customer service is going to get an email of if any undeliverables, what do you want to do? We can try to readdress the label. We can have the option to destroy, or bring it back and return it if they want to resell it. So we never had that before.
This is
this is right now. Yeah. This is yes. Yep.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. So it goes right to, like, for instance, if the package came from the UK have a distribution list for every origin, and they get the email and they make the decision what to do with the package. We also now have video proof of delivery. Never had that with the post office. So there's all those, yes, we wanted speed and we wanted other options, but there's also these other benefits you get when you pull away from the post office. and go to what these newer companies, because that they all have to do it because that's what the competition's offering.
Right.
But
Yeah, that's
so we have
lacking.
that's a huge customer sat pickup right from the beginning,
Thank you for listening. Tune in again next week when we continue this discussion.
Share, subscribe, and download our podcast. To learn more about today's topic or for a free consultation, email us at ecommerce.usa@asendia.com. Come back for more insightful discussions on e-commerce shipping to Canada, Mexico, and worldwide.